everybody. Hello, hello. We are live, and today is Thursday, September 2nd. And welcome to our weekly Thursday interview. Now, if you are joining us live, in the comment below, just hashtag live, or if you're doing the replay, hashtag replay. And also tell us where you're coming from. As you know, I'm always coming from Mexico. My guest today is coming from Portugal. We'll talk about a little bit about that. And also, if you would like to comment, you need to allow StreamYard to give StreamYard the permission to use your name so that you may be able to comment. Or if you just want to react, then, thumbs up. But you know what I like? I like a lot of those hearts. So send us a lot of those hearts. All right, we love those. So usually I like to start my interview by telling you what my guests have and I have in common. We met online. I'm going to say it again. We meet the nicest people online. I never thought that would be possible, but I am finding out in the last 2.5 years that is so. Now, the intriguing thing about my guest is her last name. Her last name is like my last name, Rosa. And it's a surname with multiple etymologies, Italian, Catalan, but it's also Portuguese and Spanish, so I found out. So her name is Soraia Rosa, and mine is Lucy Rosa, and Stagi is my ex-husband's name, which I thought would be easier, but it turned out to be even more complicated. Soraia and I have mentors that are mutual. Tony Robbins, for one thing, Dean Graziosi. Also, we're participants in mutual challenges, actually one challenge and one workshop. We're a member of the SER group, which is the Self-Education Revolution group. And so, as you well know, because I've advertised it, Soraia is an hour reader and teacher. And she has a very interesting background. She has a PhD in biology, so by education, she is a scientist. But her mission is to serve the world through spirituality. So I can't wait to talk about this. So welcome my awesome guest, Soraia. Soraia, how are you?
Hi, Lucy. So nice to see you. Thank you so much for having me here. I'm so excited about this. Really looking forward to see where everybody is in the world in the comments. It is true that we meet the nicest people online. It's such an amazing world. Thank you so much for having me here. I'm really looking forward to this interview. And it is the funniest thing that we have a common surname, isn't it?
It is a very funny thing. It's the first thing that I kind of focused on when I saw your name. It's really interesting because there aren't too many Rosas around. But I thought, oh my God, here we are, we're more than family. We're really family. So, I mentioned that you're from Portugal. What part of Portugal are you coming in from?
I live close to Lisbon. It's a 40-minute drive from Lisbon.
So, I probably was in Portugal before you were. I visited Portugal in the late 80s. I don't even know that you're that old.
I'm from 88.
88, you see? I probably was in Portugal before you were. I think it was 86 or 87. And I was in the Algarve, which was beautiful. Excuse me. It was beautiful beaches there, and I just loved it. And I remember there was, and I don't know if it's still true, there was a wonderful delicacy dish there that was octopus and black ink, I think they called it.
We have it still.
You still have it, right? And I remember, God, was that good? But you couldn't smile, and I didn't know that. So I was a little embarrassed with that situation, but so I never forgot it. If you're in a situation and you're emotionally affected, we know that, those things you always kind of remember.
You'll remember.
Yeah.
It's a funny story.
So in our conversation, I asked you where you had learned English. You fascinated me by your answer. Could you please tell my audience how you learned English?
Well, I first started to learn through cartoons. I didn't like the Portuguese cartoons, so I was watching English cartoons that did not have subtitles. And I was just trying to understand their reactions and associated with the words and what was happening there in the scenes. And then I started learning English in school. I studied it from age 9 until 18. Then I went to university. I did have to study in English because most science books are in English. And then I went for an internship, 8 months in Copenhagen, and I did my PhD abroad in the UK. So I was there for 4 years, and that's when it all started to, become more fluid. I could speak English, but living abroad in full immersion was a completely different experience there.
So it's true what they say. You want to learn the language, immerse yourself in the language.
Yeah.
And you're perfectly bilingual. I mean, so I love your story, that whole story, your background of the. So let's delve a little bit more in your background. What was it like to grow up in the late 80s in Portugal?
It was fun. My family is from the countryside, so we moved to the city. I was still young, but I always went back. So I got to spend a lot of time outdoors, playing with animals, just having fun. And I feel everything was so much more simpler than it is today.
All right. And you can imagine when I was born, even more, right?
Yeah.
So, you have a whole background in science. So one would think that you would have, done something in science, but no, you kind of had a switch. You moved into. So what happened there? What happened? You got into spirituality, and how did that all happen? I mean, yes, of course, you can be in science and spirituality, but you've dedicated you made your mission. Studying spirituality and helping others through spirituality. So tell us a little bit how that happened.
I was already into spirituality even when I was doing my degree, even before the PhD and all of that. I found it very interesting. And as a scientist, I like to experiment. So I like to test my hypothesis, see how things go. Does it work? What is the result it creates? So I got a little bit fascinated with that. But when I finished my PhD, that was the turning point. I understood that there were so many things about the career progression in science that I didn't really love. And I wanted to have more control over what I do with my day, what are my projects. And that led me on a journey of self-discovery. And through this journey of self-discovery, I thought, why not finish a course that I started on spirituality and see where it leads me? And that was the aura reading course. And I found it to be so fantastic that I just wanted to put it out there in the world. So that's what I started with. It was a difficult transition there when it comes to mindset, because yes, science and spirituality don't seem to go too much hand in hand still. But I always say that the role of the scientist is to test things out and see if they work. So to say upfront it doesn't work and I'm not going to do it, that's not really the role of a scientist.
Right.
So I experimented with things and I understood how they work and what the results were. And I felt that through spirituality, I'm having a much bigger, direct and faster impact in people's lives compared to what I was doing in science.
Okay. So had you considered at all, before you made the switch, had you considered at all a career in science? And if that were so, what career had you thought about?
I had. I'm very creative, so I loved the academic part because it allows me to develop protocols, come up with different ideas to test out things. So industry was out of context there. However, in the academic field, for career progression, I would have to take a postdoc. And those are usually 2-year contracts that have us moving from country to country to country for many years. And it's really challenging. I had moved I lived in 3 different countries now, plus Portugal. So it was just becoming too much. Even though it's an amazing experience, it's a little bit hard to live with, not really knowing where you can settle your base and just remain there. So I needed a little bit more stability in that sense as well.
Okay, you said you took a course in aura. Am I saying it right? Aura reading.
Aura reading.
Because I want to say aura in Spanish, and so I'm trying to say it in English like aura reading. So it's a cross in between. How long ago was that? I think you mentioned something like 30 years ago. I mean, you were young when you got into it.
No, I started learning the basis of the aura reading 10 years ago.
10 years ago. Okay.
But the full course I finished in 2019.
And whose course was that? I mean, usually somebody writes a course. Who were you influenced by?
So this course was designed by Michael Ficaris, and he taught other teachers, and I learned from one of them right here in Portugal. We became friends, and she had been doing readings on me for a while, and I thought it was so interesting, gave me so much information about myself, and at the time that was exactly what I needed. I needed to learn more about me, and I needed to know myself more deeply so that I would understand, what am I going to do with my life next?
Right.
What is the next step? How do I align myself with my goals and my desires? So that's why I took that jump.
Oh, I see. So then tell me the difference between, I think that you and I had a conversation that usually before you do somebody's reading, you like to do a cleansing. Could you explain that a little bit? What does an aura cleansing mean? I mean,
so I do the reading and then cleanse simultaneously. Yes, because the cleanse, essentially, your aura is you, all of you. Your thoughts, your emotions, your blocks, your limiting beliefs, your challenges, all of that is your aura, and all of it is you. So whatever I find in there that's blocking progress, that's limiting perception, that's keeping the person stuck, that can be cleansed straight away with the method. And it really helps to gain more clarity. It shows the real why for things happening the way that they're happening. What are they trying to tell us from a higher perspective point of view? So the cleanse is happening at the same time as the blocks are being found.
Okay, because I'm going to admit to the audience that as I was talking to you, we had that wonderful conversation previously, and I thought, I felt really blocked. I was at a point at which I wasn't moving. All I wanted to do was really go to sleep. When I can't handle things, all I want to do is sleep. And of course, sleeping is another problem altogether. So as I'm talking to you, I thought, oh my God, I'd love to have a reading. I'd love to. And so you offered to do a cleansing for me. Is that the correct
Yes.
word? A cleansing for me. And so you did. And it was unbelievable to me because you're kind of ahead of me in time. And so when you did it, I felt the difference the night before. And you did send me a note saying, now you're going to be feeling tired the next 2 days. And it's a good thing you told me that, because I'm thinking, what's wrong? There's a cleansing here and I'm feeling tired. What's going on? And so thank God you warned me about that. And I do have to say that my thoughts are clearer now. I don't feel that weight on my shoulders, and that I felt blocked. I really did. And you did unblock it. It was unbelievable. So thank you so very much for that gift, I have to say. Thank you.
You are very welcome. It was my pleasure to help you.
Thank you. So, okay, let's I just want to say that Elizabeth Lupacchino is here, and she's here live, and she says that she's here from Cornwall, Connecticut, and that she also had that octopus in black ink.
That's funny.
And then Shannon said she would love to, and I guess that would be the cleaning. Oops, I would love to do a reading, is what she said. Okay, do you know Shannon Reinhardt Chappé?
No, I don't know her, but I will send you a message after we finish here. I'll be happy to meet you.
And she's here from the Netherlands. Okay, perfect. Okay, so we have a little bit of your background, and so let's talk about how you and I met, because we ended up in the same program called Program Next. Now, Program Next, I'm just going to take a little diversion here, is the new version of the KBB program that Tony and Dean Graciosi started in late 2018. I was part of the KBB program when it got launched, and this year was the third year that they were launching the program, but they launched the next level. So they took the KBB, made it better, launched it, and they did it through a 5-day challenge, Own Your Future challenge. And I think we were both members of that challenge, right? And I think that that's where the connection between us started, right? Can you tell the audience how that happened?
So I found the Own Your Future challenge and I joined the group. When I joined the group, I made a post in there because I was looking for other energy healers who might be around here in Portugal to network and get some support there. And the moderator who approved my post onto the group was Mike. Mm-hmm. And we started chatting, and he invited me into his group where together with you and Debbie and Eldon, you're all doing an amazing thing for us, which was after the challenge, you were doing daily calls so that we could stay on track and brainstorm a little and put out there what we learned so that we could literally ground the knowledge that was coming through. And that's how we met there.
That's how we met, right? So we were following in Dean's step. We being Mike, myself, Aiden, and Debbie at the time, and we were just following in Dean's step. We were doing an implementation lab, just like he was doing, but he was doing it for thousands of people, and we were doing it for 30 plus students who joined our group through our link, and it was just delightful meeting you there. So could you tell me how joining that program helped you kind of move forward?
It was really about, I needed to find a way to fill in the gaps because I started working on my business on my own. And as a scientific background, I didn't really know much what I was doing. I was trying to learn everything by myself. So I needed some foundation there. That was what I was looking for. But I found so much more than that. I found that mindset and accountability were two really, really important things. And not only the course in itself delivered that, but Lucy, you and your team really helped ground all of that for me. And it was the additional support to really be able to push through and get things done and accomplished at the end.
And you did get things done. I mean, before I knew it, you would show up in the videos, but before I knew it, you were launching. Your business was taking off all of a sudden. And it was unbelievable. So would you recommend that type of implementation and for people who are taking such a course? Because people believe that you can take a course and then write your course and then just launch it. I mean, there's so much more than that. There's so much more than that.
I would highly recommend that. And I would highly recommend doing with a support group involved there because it's so easy to get lost in all the lessons, all the information. It's so much information. Sometimes it's hard to select what you need to take from all the videos and really implement that. Sometimes you just get overwhelmed. Sometimes your mindset or your inner fears will be there and not really let you move forward. So to have a team there that says, I see you, I understand you, I've been there, I'm going to hold your hand and walk you through it. That's a whole new level of support that the team brings in. And, knowing that there's somebody there for accountability, it helps you push yourself a little bit harder, right?
It does. It absolutely does. So you had an accountability partner also who was kind of pushing you along. So tell me what you got out of it. So you went from there. You took the Program Next course. You joined us in the implementation lab, and then all of a sudden you're launching your business. So what was the first launch for you? Could you explain that to us?
I was already doing aura readings, but I wanted to move into the digital product aspect of business. So what I did was I started out by launching a course on life purpose. So it was a 7-day, 7-session course, and it was amazing. I have to say, it was fantastic. I really, really loved it. I delivered it live. And
for 7 days live.
7 days.
And it was on life purpose, because I'm taking notes here. I love taking notes.
Yes.
So it was on life purpose, right?
Yes.
Is that your dog that wants attention?
It is. It is.
Cool.
I'm sorry. Kira, go on.
You can bring him up and you can pick him up if you want.
She's just there in the corner, but she's scratching the door.
It's like, Mom, pay attention.
Yeah.
And so 7 days. So that turned out to be very productive for you, right? Do you need to open the door?
Yes, just a second. I'm sorry.
Go ahead. Let's go ahead. It's live, and those things happen. And so the dog needs help. The dog needs attention. So that's what happens. And so this is woof woof. Yeah. And so, our little fur babies are just like our little babies. When they need you, they need you. And okay, so all she needed. What is her name?
Her name is Kia.
Kia, Kia, like the store.
Sorry.
Kia, like that store, that's famous store, Kia.
Kira.
Oh no, that's Kia. Oh, Kira.
Kira.
Okay, thank you. Okay, we were talking about your 7 days, and your I think it was called Life Purpose, and that was very successful. My question was, did you go live for 7 days?
Yes, it was 7 different sessions. Each day we're doing a different thing, and really getting down to the bottom of not only what is life purpose and how to engage in our life purpose, but also adding there the spiritual aspect to it with meditations, energy cleanses, and so on.
Okay, so, and then from there, and that was very successful. I mean, we're talking about paid customers here,
yes,
right?
Yes.
Okay, and then your next, I think, and you may be still in the middle of doing this. I think your next project was 4 weeks. Could you tell us about that next project that you are now involved in?
Yeah, so it's a 4-week program where every week we have a session, a live session where we work through our shadow aspect. So we find out where negative beliefs and repetitive behaviors are happening in our lives, and then we take that out throughout the week and we keep working through it, and we're doing that for 4 weeks now.
Okay, now you must have some tools that you work with. Are these tools that were produced by you, or tools that were taken from the program next, or a combination of all?
Well, some of them are from myself. It's the readings part, and then for the courses is a mix of things. It's a mix between techniques in spirituality that I had learned, mindset that I took from the course, and other spiritual healers and tools that are out there as well. I'm using them.
So it's a different modalities that
yes.
You bring to your practice. Okay, let's just take a break here. We have a few comments. Elizabeth says, I also studied Lakota shamanic studies. Yes, and she's telling us that she would love to have a cleanse and a reading. And Donna says that she would love to do a reading also. And so we got
fantastic.
We got business for you right here. Victoria says, is the course on Mastermind now? Do you have Mastermind? Let me just explain. Mastermind is the platform that Tony and Dean give us access to, at least 3 months free. And then if you continue with your course on Mastermind, there's a price to pay. Is your course I think Victoria is asking, is your course on Mastermind now?
No, it's not on Mastermind. The courses that I was mentioning so far, they were delivered live, and it was just one time. So the first one on Life Purpose will need to be rebuilt to be sold as a digital product. And the Inner Work course that I'm doing right now, it's something that has to be more personalized, so it cannot be delivered as a digital product. I am, however, launching new courses and so on, so I might move to mastermind.com. Who knows the future?
Okay, so lots of things coming up the pipeline.
Yes.
Oh, wonderful. A life purpose course really sounds really good, Shannon says. So so that was going to be my next question. What's next for you? I think you talked about teaming up with someone, because one cannot do everything alone. I mean, once one progresses in one's business, you know, the team is
It's so important.
so important. So can you talk to us a little bit about that and how that came about?
So when I started this journey into trying out to build my business on my own, one day I had an idea to build an online summit. That was about 2 years ago. Mm-hmm. And I just went online in a Facebook group and I asked, would anyone be interested in doing this together with me? I'll organize everything. You guys just have to show up and deliver. And next thing I know, I had 20 speakers who were interested in doing this together with me. And in that summit, I met some amazing people, and one of them was this friend that I am now partnering up with, because since then we've been talking and we have been exchanging energy healings, and we started understanding that our values and our goals and our vision for business and our mission in the world are very much aligned. And we saw how we complement each other, because she's just right at the start of the spiritual journey, and I'm already a little bit on the reading part, which takes up next. So we thought, why not combine our efforts and build multi-level course where we walk someone through the process of just getting started in spirituality all the way up into doing energy readings.
Absolutely. That's collaboration is the word that comes to my mind. So much better than competition. You know, people say, oh my gosh, she's an aura reader. Oh, she's going to be a competitor. No, I mean, let's look for how we can collaborate with one another, because that's what we're meant to do anyway, you know, to help one another and to work with another. So,
absolutely.
So it seems like there's lots of that coming up in the future. I mean, lots of planning to be done and whatnot, right? And yes. So, okay, so from what I understand, there's the life purpose course that needs to be tweaked, you know, before you can put that online. There's the a 4-week session, also the inner work that also needs to be worked on before that can become a digital product to be put on. And of course, the platform will come later for you. If it's Mastermind, that's good for you, then it might be that, but it could be something else too. It could be just everything on Facebook. Do you have a Facebook group, by the way?
I have joined, or I'm partnering up with this friend of mine. So she already had a group, and we're taking that group on forward together.
Okay, so that's good. So that's interesting, and I know that you do have a website, because it says there it's called SorayaRosa.com, and if you want to contact Soraia, you can do so on Instagram. You're very, very active on Instagram. That seems to be your platform, right?
Yes, that's where I started.
Why Instagram? Because I mean, I'm a Facebook group. It could be my generation, obviously.
Well, I have to be really, really honest here.
Okay. We love that.
I have all my previous teachers in science and my supervisors on Facebook. And when I got started, I was a little bit afraid of getting out there and saying, oh, no, I'm quitting science. I'm going full on to spirituality. So I thought, let me try Instagram. And then I started to love it, really. I love the stories part. It has more of an open concept rather than Facebook. Facebook is more community, but Instagram is more about networking. People come in and they leave whenever. There's no commitment they just stick around for as long as they want. I feel Facebook also, there's so many groups and people are involved in so many groups that the notifications just get diluted in everything they receive throughout a day. And I feel Instagram is a little bit of an escape from Facebook. And I love to create images and designing. So Instagram seems to be my perfect fit.
Do you work mostly on Canva? Is that what you, when you're talking about images? Yeah, it's a wonderful.
I love it.
It is. I mean, it's opened up a whole world for different people. So that is so cool. So I love that story about how you got on Instagram. Are they listening? I don't know.
Yes, I was so afraid.
Yeah, isn't it amazing what we do out of fear? But you were led that way. You were led to do Instagram. Would you? How would you compare Instagram to LinkedIn? Because as you were talking, I was thinking, well, that sounds a little bit like LinkedIn does. People come to network basically. And are you on LinkedIn?
Well, I think I still have my science profile up in LinkedIn. LinkedIn is optimized for business and scientific purposes, okay. Business to business services as well, not so much client to final consumer there. So I find Instagram to be less formal, more relaxed, where people get to enjoy, not so much. When you go into LinkedIn, you're a little bit uptight and trying to figure out, what is this? Does this fit? There's a whole logical analysis to it. Whereas when you're on Instagram, it's a social media platform. Everybody's just there relaxing a little, see what's going on. Yeah.
Having fun. Thank you for the clarification. I didn't mean to put you on the spot, but it just happened. So thank you. As you know, I do these weekly interviews, and basically, not only to feature awesome people like you, to give you another platform to tell your story, but also to show people who are interested in starting an online business, don't know where to start or who to trust. What advice would you have for that person that is looking and afraid to take the first step?
It only takes 15 seconds of courage, like Tony Robbins says, right?
15 seconds. That's a myth.
If you have the resources to buy a course from somebody who has been where you are and it is much further ahead, I would highly recommend that. Okay. Because trying to figure out everything on your own is going to take you so much time. And also if I think the experience I had here with your team, Lucy, in Project Next was literally the best one I've had when it comes to business and learning business, because it gives that not only the course and the mindset. The mindset is really important in this stage, especially in the beginning, where we have to go through the fear of not showing up to the superiors you used to have and trying out something completely different. It's really challenging to overcome that. So to have the support of a team like I had on Project Next from you, Lucy, and the rest of the team, that was gold to me. Mm-hmm. And even though I wasn't able to show up for most of the sessions, I knew that I had you there if I needed you and when I needed you. And that made me feel safer. It made me feel like I could relax and focus on really building the course and putting it out there. So if anyone needs, or if anyone is looking to start their business, I would highly recommend to join a course. Mm-hmm. and have a support team like I did, like you built, Lucy.
Thank you. That means so much to me. Thank you for those kind words. Now, my next thing, there are several people that want reading. What's the best way for them to contact you? I mean,
I can go through the comments and I can send them a message after this live.
You will message them. Okay, perfect. Okay. Is there anything that I haven't touched upon that is critical that you would like our audience to know about aura readings and cleansings and teaching this type of thing is so important? The inner world.
I I would just like to bring in the awareness of how we try to work so much on ourselves, but we forget that we are also energy. And we forget that we have to take care of that energetic part that we have as well. And often taking care of the energetic part just makes everything so much easier on the mindset and on the emotional space. But we forget about it, or we haven't been taught to process things in that way. And this energetic part is really about getting in touch with ourselves and getting to know ourselves very deeply, because it goes beyond what our minds are seeing. It goes to the deepest fears that we're not looking at, the limiting beliefs that come from childhood that we don't remember anymore. And all of those things just keep us fearful and unable to move forward. So really being able to access all of these things, whether that's through past life regression or a deeper state of meditation, whatever it is, but something that gets you back in touch with who you really are and who you really want to be. That is the most important thing, because if you don't know who you are and who do you want to be, you're not going to know which type of business you're going to create.
Exactly. And who you want to serve.
Exactly. So this part of getting into a deeper level of self-knowledge is something that I always love to bring up, because I feel the world is forgetting that that is the number one thing we all have to do, no matter which practice we go for, whether it's an aura reading, a cleanse, meditation, or just mindset work, whatever that is. We need to remember that. We need to put some post-it somewhere and keep track of that, because it's easy to lose focus. It's really easy.
We really do. I mean, I have a mastermind group in the morning, and we do some readings of spiritual works, and it's like, we've been reading some of the books 3 times. It's like we're in awe, like, did we read this before? It's like, it's unbelievable. So yes, absolutely. You have to be aware of it all the time. And so thank you for the work that you are doing, for the work that you are bringing to serve your tribe, for sure. And hopefully some of the people that have responded here. I thank you for your time, Soraia.
Thank you so much for having me here. It was a pleasure.
It's been a pleasure, and we're going to be following you, and of course we'll have you back, and especially when you have all those digital courses ready to go, so we can help you with the marketing of that.
Yes. I'm really looking forward to that.
All right. Thank you again, Soraia, for your time and your wonderful presence. And for my audience, thank you for being here. We certainly appreciate you coming in live and helping us and supporting us. We love that. Send us, and we love those hearts that you are sending us. We just love those hearts. Because it's all about love anyway. And just to let you know, the next 2 weeks I will be traveling, so there won't be any interviews, but I will keep you posted as to the next interview, which will be Thursday, September 30th. And I'll see you then. And again, thank you, Soraia.
Thank you so much, Lucy. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you. And thank you, everybody else. Bye.
Bye.